All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Super here, and welcome back to another Mortal Kombat 1 how to play basic character tutorial. Today, we're going to be doing one on Big Papa General Shao Kahn. General Shao Kahn, the way I play him is pretty much I guess, not really a Vortex, because Vortex is something that's kind of inescapable. He's just a high risk, high reward character. I play him mix up based. I play him with 50/50s. If you block my resets, you're gonna get a punish. But if I hit you, you're gonna lose a lot of life. So if you don't want to play him that style, then you could just incorporate some of the tips that I give you into your own play style. The cameo that I'm going to be using is Sonya, because Sonya helps him extend combos. So let's get started here. Before anything, I just want to say, if you guys have been enjoying these tutorials, leave a like on the video. Also, for anyone who doesn't understand what I mean when I say 1, 2, 3, and 4, as far as referring to attacks, 1 is square, 2 is triangle, X is 3, and circle is 4. And then for you guys who are on Xbox, you could just interchange those numbers with whatever face buttons you have. So let's get it started here. Shao Kahn, or General Shao, he's a big boy, man. He's a big boy, but he has speed. You know, he has some movement. Even his normal dash by itself, you know, his walk speed is really, oh my god, he has one of the best walk speeds in the game for sure. And it really helps out playing footsies, especially when you have this long range axe right here, which is really good. Just use your speed to your advantage with General Shao. Even just your walk speed. You don't have to do any of this wave dashing or anything like that if you don't want to, or if you can't. Use his walk speed, because he has one of the best in the game, and especially walking in and out of your opponent's range with you know, even this, you know, with your stand 2. We're going to talk about his stuff, but I just want to emphasize his movement is really good, even though he's a big boy. So now let's talk about his actual combo strings, basic attacks, what you should be using. Obviously, his main bread and butter is going to be stand 2. Keep in mind, this is a mid, so people are going to be able to mash out of it. But this is going to be your primary combo starter, and it's going to be your primary with punish tools. So if your opponent misses an attack, you know, they do something like that, your stand 2 is going to be the best, fastest, longest ranging button, your best option that you're going to use at around character length, because, you know, it has a lot of range. It even has more range than something like his forward 1 that I think it's a mid. No, it's a high as well. We'll talk about his combo strings in a bit, but I just want to obviously emphasize this is his best combo string. 2-2. I'm pretty sure that it's safe on block. I think you could do 2-2-2. I think that's unsafe. Or maybe it's safe, because I say that I can't be 100% on the moves list, because the moves list is wrong. You could go test it out yourself, and I'll prove that the move list is wrong in a little bit with General Shao's move when he doesn't have the axe. This right here says it's minus 26 on block, but in reality it's plus. So the moves list isn't even 100% correct yet. They gotta fix like all that. Hopefully they fix all the moves and their proper frame data, because it's helpful as a player. So I can't really tell you if this is safe, if it's negative. All I know is that when I was playing General Shao, this was safe. I didn't use this too much, the ender of the string. I just used this, and that was completely safe. So this is going to be like your bread and butter, because it goes into your combo starters. You're going to want to use 1-2 as a punish. It's actually like a meterless launcher right here. So after 1-2, you get a little bounce. It's not an overhead, keep in mind. But you could do 2 things from this bounce. 2 options with this team that I specifically have right here, which is 2-1 into overhead X. Causes a bounce. You're going to be able to go into your Sonya cameo and then into the mix-up situation that I'm going to use with General Shao that I'm going to teach you guys. That's one option. Your other option is to go into 1-2 and then stand 2-2 and then go into this. You could finish the combo if you want, or you could go into the mix-up situation similar to what I demonstrated before this one. In my opinion, it's better to just go into the overhead, because you're going to already do a lot of damage. You're not going to be spending a bar of meter going for this. Unless you want to go for damage, Unless you want to go for damage, that's 342, right? But compare that to something like this, and you are using one cameo. That's 352, and it leaves me into the mix-up potential that I'm going to show you guys. So keep that in mind. Do whatever you want to do. This works because I'm using the Sonya cameo. It gives me the ability to extend my combos. So if you have somebody like Scorpion, it's going to work the exact same way as Sonya, or potentially Striker. Some of these characters that could extend your combos in the air. So back to I'm torn between this move because I found myself getting punished a lot trying to throw this out. It's a mid, it's plus on block, and it's a meterless launcher, and you actually get your most damage with this attack. So if you do this in the air, you want to do 1-2-2 into the Sonya assist if you're going to use this combo. 1-2-2 into the Sonya assist. She's going to bounce up, and then you're going to do 2-2 into your launcher. So it's going to look like this. And then from that, you could just finish your combo normally. Most of the time, if you're mid-screen, it's going to take them all the way to the corner. If they're not in the corner, you just run up. Here, I'll demonstrate it for you guys. If you're not in the corner, all you have to do is just do stand 2 into the axe, and that's going to work every time. Stand 2-2 most of the time doesn't work because there's too much gravity being used up. So keep that in mind. If you're not using the Sonya cameo and you get this launcher, you could still get some good damage, some good mix-up potential, knockdown potential, because if you just do 1-2, that'll leave General Shao like right in front of the opponent, and he recovers in time to get a stand 2-2. And then you go into this. Boom. You still get about 40%. No problem right there. 396 damage. Easy. You could do that, or you could go into whatever sort of mix-up you want to do. So keep those two options in mind. Also, for me, if I don't want to use Sonya in that specific combo, I could go into, in that situation, I'm always going to use my Sonya because it's going to give me a lot of damage. Plus, if I do want to go for a reset, I could just go like this. I could just do that and then go into whatever else I want. But if I hit somebody with this, I'm always going to go for the damage instead of the reset because I'm doing 40. So I'll just go for the damage. He has this forward 1-2. You could finish this combo string and cancel it into your overhead axe. Keep in mind there's a gap in between, so people are going to be able to armor through it. But if you do hit your opponent with it, you could go into pretty much the same scenario that I'm going to show you guys in a little bit with the Shao Kahn mix-up potential with Sonya. You could also go for damage if you want. So I'll teach you guys. Well, to be honest, I don't really pay too much attention to General Shao without his axe when it comes to just playing the game normally, because I do use Sonya, and whenever I don't have the axe, it's specifically to mix my opponent up. But just to keep it simple, whenever your axe is on the ground, you always want to bounce them up, because you always want to use back 1 for the most part, because it's going to leave you close to your opponent. Whoops. Well, maybe not in this situation. But if you have a lot of gravity that's already been, like in this situation, you could just go into your normal stand 2-2. But if they're a little bit too far away, something like this, you're always going to be able to catch them if you do back 1 and then stand 2 into the choke. So if they're like just slightly a little bit too far, if you go for this and you don't go for the mix-up, you could easily flip them sides. Just work on whatever feels comfortable for you. But other than that, obviously, General Shao has an overhead and low. If you use the Motaro assist, you could actually combo from this overhead with the Motaro teleport. But you lose the potential, like, high damage mix-up potential that Sonya gives them. But it's like a give or take. There's positives and negatives using each cameos. But he also has this low right here, which you go into the low into the grab. But I actually like using the low into the overhead because it's the safe option. Keep in mind, if your opponent blocks both of these options, with the grabs, you're going to get punished. So I like going for the low into overhead, which is a safe option. And a lot of times people are not going to expect it. They get hit by that overhead. When you don't have the axe, I use the low as a straight up mix up. I just go into the low, into the kick or the rising knee. And if and the other mix up is this overhead. So when I don't have my axe, I'm strictly going for 50-50. So we'll talk about him without the axe in a little bit when I show you guys the mix up that I do with Sonya. But other than that, I think that's about it as far as combo strings that I use. He does have this mid right here, which you could throw out. It's a safe mid to overhead option. It's really hard to hit confirm this, so I don't know. I wouldn't try it unless you're like very confident in your hit confirms, because you can do it. It's pretty difficult. So keep that in mind whenever you're, if you're trying to hit confirm that back 1-2 mid. But other than that, you could just throw this out around this range. It's a nice mid to throw out because General Shao doesn't have any other mids other than back 1. So he does kind of struggle getting poked out of things a lot of times. But, you can't have everything in Mortal Kombat 1 unless you're Baraka and Cyrax. But let me see if there's any other combo strings that I'm forgetting that are important. No, I think that's it. Yeah, that's the big boot. So, all right, now let's move on to this mix-up that you guys have seen me use with General Shao. It feels so satisfying to hit. Pretty much the way it works is you get any sort of touch into this dive kick right here. Once you do that, you launch them up in the air, or you get this. You're gonna get the launcher. I said you're gonna get the launcher, and once you launch your opponent up in the air, you're going to do stand 2-2, kick, call in the Sonya assist, stand 2-2, kick again, and you're going to land before your opponent does. Keep in mind, if they wake up with armor attack, all that, you could bait it out. But at the same time, if you get too anxious and you're trying to go for the mix-up all the time, your opponent is just going to keep waking up with armor. They're going to keep interrupting your mix-ups. So be smart about it. Make the hard read. Sometimes the opponent, gets too trigger happy with the armor. Reptile does a slide. I'm going to be able to punish into the mix-up situation, and bam, he's in the corner taking a ton of damage. So this is how the scenario looks with an overhead starter, and then I'll show you guys with the low starter. So let's just say you punish your opponent here. 2-2, call in Sonya, and then do 2-2 again. Boom. Oh, you have to be careful with that. If you do it a little bit too late, he's going to switch sides. Overhead. Oh, I mistimed it. I'm surprised I hit this so consistently online. All right, so that's the sequence right there. Now, it's very important. Once you hit your opponent with this overhead, right? Once you hit him with this overhead, you have to do stand 2-2-4. Don't do the knee. Because if you do the knee, your axe is not going to come back in time. So when you mix them up and you go for this low or this overhead, use 2-2-4, call in Sonya, and by the time your Sonya hits them and your opponent is in range, your axe is going to come back. Then you do 2-2 into the kick again. So now I'm going to show you guys how it looks in the low option. It's pretty much, it's actually exactly the same thing. You just go for the low. And there it is. So that is the mix-up right there. Obviously, the low is more of a commitment. So look at the damage on the low, 476 compared to the overhead, which I think was 430, 426, something like that. Obviously, there's more of a commitment on the low, straight into the knee. But that is the mix-up that I've been using online. Keep in mind, it's high risk, high reward. So if you actually hit the opponent, you're going to get a ton of damage. And if you don't hit them, if you use the overhead, this is the safe option. The overhead is completely safe, but the back three into the knee is not. Obviously, if they block this back 3 into the knee, you're dead. They're going to be able to get whatever kind of punish they want. But if you use the overhead, it's going to be safe. Now, just to like demonstrate to you guys, I'm actually going to show you guys that the moves list is completely wrong because I was abusing the hell out of this before. Now, I'll be mashing on down 1 as much as I can. I'll show you guys that this is actually plus on block. Okay, that it didn't work right there because I didn't mash it. Ugh. There it is. I didn't mash it fast enough with Shao Kahn or with General Shao. So, all right, trying to mash right there. But, you know, depending on your timing and how fast you are with your down 1, your opponent might be able to hit you out of it just like I did right there. But one thing that is for certain, it is not... Am I still Reptile? I'm still Reptile. One thing is for certain, 224 without the axe is not... Where's this move at? It's not minus 26 on block. Stand 224 without the axe. See, it says right here, no axe, moves list. It is not minus 26 block advantage. It's just not. It might be a tiny bit plus. Online is definitely plus because of the input delay, just natural input delay. Offline, it's probably like -1, -2. You could try to mash if you want, but it's definitely not minus 26 on block. Stop lying, moves this. I hope they fix those in the future. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much going to be it for General Shao. Very, very high risk, high reward, at least the way I play him. And just to demonstrate, or I guess we could demonstrate another way to, like if you open up your opponent with this, it's going to be exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. All the mix-ups are going to be the same except for this one right here. I believe this one is a little bit different because a lot of gravity has been used up. Yeah, this one's going to be way different. So that's why I usually just go for the damage whenever I'm playing this. Because you could go for this, then you could go for... You could go for like a double mix-up if you want. But whenever I hit somebody with back 2, I just go for the damage because it's going to be a lot. It's going to be 43% compared to, you know, if I drop the mix-up or something like that. I rather guarantee myself 42%, especially hitting someone with this back 2. To be honest, it's pretty rare when that happens. So I would just say go for the damage whenever whenever you hit somebody with this. Even just General Shao by himself. Even just him by himself without a cameo is gonna do 40%. So I would just say go for the damage. His fatal blow is absolutely worthless. I didn't find a single combo with this because he throws it up in the air and it has to come down. So I don't know, maybe something like early on in a combo, it's the only way it's gonna work. But other than that, I think that about does it. I mean, I could talk about his fake mix-up right here. Hold on. This, in theory, looks amazing because it's an instant overhead low, but I'll just show you guys. We'll go to the right. I'll be Reptile. And then I'll have... Whoops. All right, so that overhead and low is going to hit, right? Let's just let him do his thing. Yeah, I messed up. All right, I'm just going to stand block. As you guys see, it's a completely fake mix-up. I'm just going to stand block. Oh, my God. Can you do it? Okay, we'll do it right here. See, if I block low, then it's going to hit me, right? But the mix-up in itself is completely fake. All you have to do is just stand block it, and then the character is just gonna auto block. Like that's it. You guys saw from the look. I just have R2 held down. I didn't even press down. It's a completely fake mix up that on paper looks really good because it's an instant overhead low, but it's a fake mix up. So never get hit by that online. I got hit by it once. I'm like, man, what the hell? How the hell did I get hit by this? It's not even real. You just stand block it. But I guess sometimes your instincts are just telling you block low, block low. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Other than that, you know, this move right here is really good with him. If you don't have the axe, you could just spam the hell out of this move. That's okay as a projectile. It's not that bad. But, I mean, you want to be up close and personal to your opponent. So you could try to mix them up, in my opinion, and get damage that way. But that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.